Last time on Square Roots, Oogie Boogie does the best he can, Ramza is branded a heretic, and Alma is abducted. Also, Ovelia learns she wasn't adopted, she was swapsiesed. Does that make her a garbage changeling?
Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by John Ram Man Brandon.
Now that is one that works on like 5 different levels.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa, and I would like to say to my co-hosts, to all you listeners out there, sometimes you play the game, sometimes the game plays you.
Is that about politics?
No, that's actually a secret message that a friend of mine who's enjoying a birthday this weekend asked me to work into the show. I was going to try to do it casual-like.
Oh, very seamless.
You know, seamlessly. But then you called me out on it, so you know what? Screw it. Happy birthday, Julie.
You could have fit that in any time in the talking about like when we had difficulty in a fight or whatever.
I was going to forget.
That would have been a cool thing to say like during the hot gaming news segment.
Oh, it would have been.
Yeah.
We'll prompt you, and if you get a better one, I'll edit the others out.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Well, this is a podcast where we play.
Sometimes you play the game, and sometimes the game plays
seamless. This is a podcast where we play and talk about your favorite classic RPGs.
He had to
One
check
chunk at
the
a time.
notes to remind himself.
No, he was just waiting for you to interrupt.
And we're still playing Final Fantasy Tactics, one of the most classical of RPGs.
This toque is too hot. I have to take it off. It's so hot. Holy crap!
It's too hot. Hot damn.
I think I look good in a toque, though. We'll talk about that in my level up.
And Vanessa.
Vanessa, I have something that I need to tell you.
Yeah, what's that?
Sometimes you play the game, and sometimes the game plays you.
Oh, I don't think I've ever heard that before.
We're all just going to say that a bunch of times this episode, I think.
Yeah.
So, how about it? Who's got the HGN this week? Anybody have some hot pipe and gaming news? They want to squirt all over us?
Yeah. I want to squirt. So people have been talking about PlayStation Plus, and they say that tomorrow, which will have happened already by the release of this podcast, we're going to get some big news. So I don't know what the news is because we recorded it before the news was announced. But if you go on the internet, look up PlayStation Plus, by the time this episode airs, there'll be some news. That's your hot gaming news.
Oh, they're promising some big news?
They're promising big news about PlayStation Plus tomorrow. The rumor is that it's going to be something akin to what Xbox offers, where you can play a bunch of games for free.
They already kind of have that PS Now subscription service,
Yeah,
but it's garbo.
I think they might be sort of combining it. There has been a PlayStation Plus like classics thing. It has a few games on there.
But there's like 8 games on it or something.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that they're looking to expand a little bit more into the Xbox model.
Gotcha. There's actually some pretty decent stuff in PS Now, but it's just such a crappy platform.
I've actually never tried it.
I had a subscription for like a month, and I sampled a bunch of different games, and it was fine, but like...
Wasn't that how your Oblivion run went so terribly wrong?
No, that one I just had like a corrupted save file.
Oh,
and I only had one save. But yeah, I hope they do, because my PS5 is kind of criminally underused. I hope they get a nice, cool platform going like Game Pass. Any other hot gaming news? I feel like it's kind of a light news week. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So, do you remember last week when I think it was actually even after we recorded, there was a weird letter you got when you started Gran Turismo 7, like saying, hey, just be patient. We think that real expensive cars should be real expensive, just like real life. And we also got rid of the grinding opportunities and reduced payouts because we wanted people to like have to strive and long for the really expensive 20 to $40 million credit cars that are coming. That would cost, like, those cars would cost literally $200 if you bought them using real world currency.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I guess they're kind of going for that Star Citizen model. Anyway, there's a new update saying that they're very sorry. They've been listening. This came out last night. They're listening to people's criticism. One thing I didn't know, in-game credits, if you like earn credits, were capped at 20 million, which isn't even enough, I think, to buy the most expensive, or just enough to buy the most expensive car, which seems insane. Like, why would you cap credits? But one's fake or one's bought with real money are uncapped. So they're like, we cap credits to not ruin the game, but then they didn't cap bought credits. So they're like, we're okay with ruining the game if you give us thousands of dollars. Mm-hmm. So
I would respect them a lot more if they would just come out and be like, we want extra money.
Yeah, that's what they sort of tried roundabout, like saying, this is all to help pave the way for all the free updates that are coming for the game, like supporting it that way. But I mean, it was $80 or $90 Canadian plus tax. Like, it wasn't a cheap game. It was $70 US. It's it's an expensive game. And so they've apologized for giving all players 1 million credits. They're going to raise the maximum credit cap to 100 million for players, and they're also going to increase payouts. And one thing is, like, the used car selection, they're going to beef up, because right now there's only a limited amount of used cars in the game. And so, like, because I think there's like 500 cars right now, and they're
wow.
And but a lot of them you can't get unless you luck out on them being available for purchase in the used dealer and stuff. And they're also going to be adding like dozens more cars apparently in the future, but they haven't.
That sounds like a very complicated marketplace.
Yeah, like for me, it hasn't affected anything because I like the cheaper cars, like right now I'm racing an Audi TT that costs me 50,000 credits to buy and then maybe 100,000 credits to tune up. Mm-hmm. And like, I can get that in 10 minutes, something like that. Like, it's fine. It's, I don't know. It's a bit overblown. I also played, I'll talk about that on level up actually. So that they are apologizing for it, but it just seems like the whole real money aspect just seems a little scummy.
Yeah.
I got some other hot gaming news.
Oh, sure.
Ken and Roberta Williams are back. Sierra.
Oh, I heard that.
Reroutes. Sierra.
But they don't have the rights to any of those old IPs, right?
No, they're working on a graphic version of Colossal Cave Adventure, which is not a Sierra game. They don't own it. They've never owned it.
What?
Nevertheless, they are making a VR version of it.
VR?
Yep. And that is what they are doing.
Huh.
How do you guys feel about VR? Have you ever had the itch to throw on a pair of VR goggles and try out a VR game?
Nope.
I want to, but I don't know. Like, they're so expensive.
They are expensive.
And I don't want to try like random people's and get pink eye.
Yeah.
So many times.
I just feel like they probably suck.
Yeah, I mean, okay, there's been a couple games that have made me go like, well, maybe I want to try this. Like Half-Life Alyx was one. It seemed really neat. Resident Evil 7 VR looked really cool. Thought about that, but man, it's just so cost prohibitive. Big barrier for entry.
Yeah. Occasionally there'll be like VR experiences around here that pop up in like empty stores and malls where you go and they have like a headset and they put it on you for 20 minutes and you fight zombies or something. I'm worried I'll get motion sick. You know, I'm a delicate flower.
Mm-hmm. I've been worried about that too. I think it would almost be too intense for me, but
Yeah, I get a little motion sick on simulation rides. I feel like that could be a similar kind of thing. Once I put on some Google glasses, you remember those? They were going to be the hot new thing.
Google
They
Glass,
sucked.
yeah.
Yeah.
I have some hot gaming news.
Oh yeah.
So it is the 7th anniversary of the release of Bloodborne. And I saw on Twitter that the developer who did the Bloodborne demake, he did like a PS1 version of Bloodborne, announced that he was making Bloodborne Kart, which has been kind of a running joke in the Bloodborne community for years because they've been asking for a sequel for so long, and it kind of devolved into like, where's Bloodborne Kart? When is Bloodborne Kart coming out? Like a Bloodborne version of Mario Kart, and this demake developer announced that he was actually doing it. John, I saw you liked the tweet where he showcased the animation of the hunter getting on a motorcycle and starting it up.
Pretty good.
It looks good. It looks good.
I actually played a bit of it on PS5 just to see how it runs. It doesn't, there's no like 60 frame per second mode or 4K mode, but it does, because remember that game used to have some frame rate dips, right? Like it's definitely a lot smoother. It looks really nice on PS5, even if the resolution is pretty low. Yeah,
there's been I feel like everything around Bloodborne, really since its release, has been a rumor, but there is a rumor of maybe like a Bloodborne remastered in the works that's got some updated, some like graphical improvements and frame rate improvements. One of the things about, you know, those FromSoft games, especially prior to Elden Ring, is that the frame rate stuff is like people strategize around like they take advantage of the low frame rates to like manipulate hitboxes and things like that, which is really interesting. So it'll be cool to see if there is an updated version of Bloodborne, how people play it.
But like, you know, Dark Souls remaster had a 60 frame per second option. It looked really nice too on PS4.
It did look nice, yeah.
And you could play stuff like Sekiro on PC at 60 frames per second. But the older ones actually you had to patch in to get to run that fast. Like you had to do like fan patches and things.
Yeah. Did you ever play Sekiro?
Yeah, I have it on PC, but that was before I played Bloodborne and really got into how those games play, so I kind of want to try it again.
I want to go. I've been kind of, now that I'm through Elden Ring, I kind of want to go back to Bloodborne just because I've been watching some playthroughs lately, and that game's just great. It's so good.
So still no news on a Bloodborne remaster or sequel.
No, or sequel. Still no news, yeah, which is a bummer. But I understand they're kind of focused on Elden Ring right now, but I think Bloodborne had like the best story and atmosphere out of all those games. Like
it's my favorite for sure.
It's my favorite too, yeah. It's very rare that you get such a competently told horror story, especially like Lovecraftian horror that's so well done. And I just love it so much. So anyway. I hope there's something soon.
Vanessa, any other HGN you want to share with the class?
Nope, I've shared all my HGN.
Okay. Well, how about Vanessa tells us how she leveled up?
Sure. I leveled up by seeing the Batman. It was fine.
How'd you like it?
I thought it was fine. It was long. They could have cut out some brooding and moping. I liked that it felt more like a thriller movie or a traditional crime movie that just happened to have Batman in it, rather than a Batman movie necessarily. It didn't stick with me, I found. Like, I saw it, I left the theater. Usually I am so enthralled with the whole Gotham setting and Rogues Gallery. I really love it. I even watched Gotham, all of it, every single episode. This didn't stay with me in that way. Maybe because it was so grounded in realism, didn't have that kind of fantastical element. It was fine. I'm not against it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. The movie I thought was good, but didn't really feel like it like lacked impact. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And part of that could just be the timing of today and the world we live in. You know?
Yeah. But like I thought the movie was good, but it didn't really surprise me in any way. It kind of was exactly what I expected, and I wish it would have kind of subverted my expectations a little bit.
It didn't leave me feeling like, oh my gosh, I gotta have more Robert Pattinson Batman movies right away. Like, if this was it, that would be fine. If they make another one, that would be fine.
Yeah.
And also, I received a mystery box. This mystery box came in the mail and right to my house. So I knew it had to be from someone who knew where I lived.
Mm-hmm.
I opened it up, and inside was a extremely lifelike and detailed General Hux action figure.
Did you unbox it?
I unboxed it. I made a little unboxing video. I declared I'm the spy when I saw him, and I love him very much. And he is on my dresser, still in his box, though I do intend to take him out and play with him once I think of a very good game for us to play.
Mm-hmm. I want to get some more just weird Star Wars figures, just like those weird side characters that probably shouldn't have figures, but all of them do. It's just a great, and they're so cheap on eBay. They're so cheap.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this was a Force Awakens doll. So, from the very first of the new movies. And
that's a while ago.
It was a while ago. Can you believe that? How time flies.
Mm-hmm.
And I continue to watch Taskmaster. I think I only have one more season to watch before I've watched all of the seasons, and then I'll probably just cry because I love Taskmaster. And
You do love Taskmaster.
Hate not having Taskmaster.
How do you watch it? Are you like paying for seasons on Amazon or something?
Most of them are on the official Taskmaster channel on YouTube. And then when I ran out of those, I did have to pay for some seasons on Amazon. There's also an app that they have developed. And I think right now it has seasons 1 through 6 or something like that on it. But their plan is to put all of the seasons on. And I think that's like $5 a month or something. So it's a pretty good value if you decide that you want to start paying for it. Today, internet darling Gail Simone tweeted about how much she loves Taskmaster.
Did that really validate your binging?
100%. I felt validated. I felt seen. I felt recognized. It's been very strange because I had not heard of this show until I just started watching it because YouTube recommended it to me. And then once I've started to watch it, it seems like a lot of people I know have also been watching it and nobody's been talking about it. Like a friend of mine who is having a birthday this weekend. You don't play the game plays you. And she has been watching it. Our mutual friend, I don't want to dox him on the air. He's a film professor in Italy. I think we only have one of those. He watches it and loves it. So, it's like all over the place. Everyone loves Taskmaster. Except for you guys who wouldn't even watch the 10-minute clip that I sent you to try to get you into it.
I'll check it out.
I don't believe you. No way. There's no way. I watched a whole thing and I can't remember what it was. I watched Pig based on your promises. And they turned out to all be
you watched a great
pork.
film.
Yeah.
I did see a few episodes of Taskmaster when I was at the cabin with Josh and Julio in September.
Why have you been letting me go on and on about Taskmaster like you've never seen it?
I don't really remember much about it. I was playing Switch, I think, while they were watching it.
I found that, and it's a very simple premise, so that shouldn't be the case, but it's one of the few shows that I can watch and like have to pay complete attention to, or I'll miss something. I guess it just moves very quickly.
But I think the tension of it too, you have to pay attention to get what the problem is, or
yeah, exactly. You have to know what the problem is. You have to know what they're doing. You of course have to pay attention for the sizzling sexual tension. Probably one of the most erotic shows on television. Taskmaster. It's on YouTube.
Did you like that sizzling sexual tension of the scene I sent you of Paget Brewster yelling at Derek Waters?
I did like that. It made me happy. I was happy to see Paget Brewster, and I was happy to see Derek Waters.
Mm-hmm. And him trying to hug her, and her like saying, "No, no, no, we've got to address this." It was great.
Good times. I'd love to see them both on Taskmaster. They did a Taskmaster US, and it did not last beyond a season. Had Reggie Watts as the host. What do you think about that?
Oh, that'd be interesting.
I tried watching more of that Drunk History UK. It's very bad. I love Drunk History.
You said before.
Yeah. I know, but it's like, well, the pilot episode,
Right. You have to give things time to do their thing.
Mm-hmm. It's not good. It's weird how much they screwed that up.
Johnny.
Yes.
How did you level up?
Well, first of all, I sent my very bestest friend Vanessa a gift.
It was you. I'm kidding. I knew it was you. It's not.
I'm the spy.
You're the spy.
Because, Vanessa she's been a big part of my life. She's there when things go wrong. She's there when things go right. She's a person that I know I can trust and who forgives me when I screw up a little, You know what I mean, Vanessa? Like when I screw up and do things I shouldn't have done.
I feel like John's about to drop a bomb on you.
Is this the day that Johnny finally accepts my proposal to give me Canadian citizenship via immigration fraud?
No. Oh. I'm not committing immigration fraud, but
I mean, it's not just getting. I mean, just being married isn't fraud.
Yeah, people get married for all kinds of reasons.
Yeah.
In that photo I sent you, I showed you that I'd bought a new toque.
Mm-hmm.
That photo in that new Beetle convertible that I was in, and you were fine with it because we're good friends, right? Like, you were totally accepting of me suddenly having a convertible and being like, oh, that's fine. I've been in Johnny's car many times. Obviously, this is a different car, but I'm fine with it.
You know what, Johnny?
Yes?
We had an agreement that you were not to buy a new car.
It wasn't new.
Until you moved and got a place of your own. And you have done that. So
That's
I actually
true.
am okay with you having a new convertible car. When are you going to give me a ride in it? I want to go beeping through the streets
amazing.
of Vancouver, BC.
Well, since it's a Beetle convertible, it can really only go to the beach and back. And like anytime you drive it, you have to like put your arms in the air and say, woo, spring break.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I can do that.
Yeah.
I mean, the beach in Vancouver is just pebbles, really.
Yeah, and it's really cold most of the time.
Yeah. Around spring break time, it would still be very cold, probably raining. Nevertheless, I am willing to get in this car, yell woo spring break, and go to the beach with you.
Yay! It's so nice, Vanessa. I've always wanted a convertible, and you know what? It's better than I thought it would be. It's amazing.
Oh. Does this mean you have gotten rid of the blueberry?
I have gotten rid of Sanic, my little... I haven't come up with... What's a name? There's a lot of things we could do about a beetle. It's white. I haven't come up with a good name for it yet. I thought about, like, Rhino, because it's like a rhino beetle, and it's very big and sturdy.
Is it big?
It's not really clicking with me.
It's
I
not.
gotta
It's a
be
lot.
honest.
It's a lot bigger than the Spark, but it's also as good on gas as the Spark, which is amazing. I can fill up because it has so much of a bigger gas tank. I can fill up like once every 2 weeks it's really cool.
Does it have a hard little roof or a soft little roof?
It's a soft little roof. Just like old school. And it's sort of, you know, like how old-timey convertibles bunch up in the back? It doesn't go in the trunk. Mm-hmm. It's like that, too. So it's got this really, like, classic charm to it that's very fun.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like Beetle is too obvious. There needs to be a different route that we can go.
Yeah. Can I'd like to toss an idea out there. I think we need to have a fundraiser for John's car to replace his current soft top with one with a Square Roots logo on it.
Right. Or a chocolate taco.
Yeah. Or a chocolate taco.
What about the Volkswagen? As in, dragging these nuts across your car.
Ooh. No, thank you. Not a big nuts man.
You should put some nuts on there. Put some truck nuts on there.
Truck nuts, yeah.
Yeah, you need to put some truck nuts on that.
I live in what I think would be prime truck nuts area. There's so many lifted pickups here. I haven't seen a pair of truck nuts. Well, I just moved here, but I haven't seen a single pair of truck nuts.
I feel like it's rare to see them in the wild nowadays.
Yeah.
I live in Texas, and I don't even really see them very much.
Yeah, like
but you know what I didn't see when I was at Walmart today? A single mask. A single, except on employees, and a single mask. They have got rid of all the mask mandates and stuff. Those dumb truckers won, I guess. And,
yeah, it's the same way around here. Usually it's just the employees, and I went to a barbecue place the other day, and even the employees did not have masks.
Wow.
And I did see that there's like a particularly high level of hospitalized children in Ontario.
Yeah, and it's now the BC government won't be providing daily health statistics on COVID infections either, and they have not been tracking self-reported tests. So, like this guy Justin McElroy, he's a CBC reporter. I don't know if you've heard of him. He's a funny millennial like comedian CBC reporter. He's really good. And yes, it has come up. The Justin McElroy thing. Justin McElroy's tweeted at Justin McElroy before. And also, I think Dan McCoy keeps accidentally tweeting at Justin McElroy instead of Justin McElroy. Anyway, look what I got at GameStop. I got that sweet hoodie, which you all saw. But check this out, Jim, and describe it.
John's got a t-shirt with a Sonic on it. Sonic is against a checkered background, surrounded by looks like Japanese characters of some kind. And it's all blue. The shirt is blue, and it's got like it's blue and white. I'll say that.
Yeah, it was
that's a cool
17
shirt.
Canadian dollars. And yeah, I like the Japanese. It's like it's Sonic's original design, I think. Maybe. Actually, I think the curved needles are the newer one, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I can't remember. He's gone through a few redesigns, just like the movie Sonic. Anyway, yeah, so I'm excited. I love having a convertible. You have to wear a toque right now because it's too cold. You can't just drive around.
I know, you look so chill. You look kind of. I mean, you look good in that picture you sent, but also look pretty chilly.
It's a chilly day, you know. It's but I think it's still worth it, and it's the roof is really nice. Like it's quiet with the roof up. I was surprised there's no leaks or anything.
Nice.
I was a little nervous about having a soft top. I still don't want to park it on the street because I'm worried people will slash it, as people do to soft tops for some reason.
Oh, bummer.
Why would someone do that? That's so mean.
Mm-hmm. They're fighting the power of soft tops.
But
jealous.
You don't have
jealous.
Any power.
That's true. All right, Jim. Well, my big confession to Vanessa has been.
You feel better?
Done.
You're glad you got that off your chest?
I do. I'm going to start posting pictures of it on social media immediately. I've been holding off, and you know how much I like taking pictures of cars, but I've been holding off just until I opened up my truth to Vanessa.
I appreciate you telling me in person. I appreciate you buying me a gift to soften the blow. Even though, now I know you have bought yourself a car and me an action figure. The financial dispersal there it's a pretty extreme difference, I would say. However, again,
I'm pretty sure you mean disparity.
Yeah, the disparity. You're absolutely right.
Hey,
mad that you
why are you pushing me? What? This is what? No, not in the locker, Vanessa.
So that takes care of that. Jim, how did you level up?
Well, I've been, I guess prior to this week, very deep in Elden Ring. I feel like I've kind of hit a wall with it. Maybe, been taking a break. There's not really a lot of other games. I did beat it. I still have a couple optional bosses to beat, but not really in any rush to do that. So I decided to take a break, and I was looking through games that I had downloaded just to see if there was anything I might want to pick up, and remembered that I had downloaded Tetris Effect to my Xbox, and decided to give that a whirl. And man, if there's like a non-prescription remedy for my anxiety, it is Tetris Effect. What a relaxing, fun game. Not your mom's Tetris. This is Tetris Effect.
What is the difference between my mom's Tetris and Tetris Effect?
So it's still Tetris, but the game is set to different types of music, and the music changes depending on how you're playing the game. So if you're like shifting the tetraminos into different places, you'll hear you'll hear like synth sounds that will match up to how you're shifting the tetraminos around, and as the tempo picks up, the speed of the game picks up, and it kind of goes up and down. And there's different types of music. There's like kind of EDM-ish music. There's like very relaxing, like tranquil music, and there's really cool stuff in the background. Like the tranquil music, you might be looking at like a rendering of a beach with some seagulls, and the background kind of changes depending on the tempo of the music. It's actually really fun, and I'm at the very last stage of what they call journey mode, where you kind of make your way through almost like different music genres and music tempos, and I'm at the very end of it. Haven't quite beat it, because to get through a level, usually you have to just get I'm playing on easy mode, so just clear like 30 lines, which isn't that much, but the final stage has 90 lines, and it's kind of challenging, but I would recommend it. It's such a cool reimagining of the kind of Tetris experience, and I really like Tetris a lot. So check it out. It's on Game Pass. Wee-hee, that's my level up.
I know Matt was excited about Tunic. I played a little bit of it. Did you try that at all?
I've downloaded it, but I haven't played it yet. I was too stressed out by Elden Ring to go from Elden Ring to another kind of like Souls, like Zelda game.
It's a lot more chill than Souls. Yeah, it's a little too chill. That's kind of my one problem is it's kind of a Zelda game, but it doesn't have that kind of heroic, stirring music. It's more chill, like Hearts of Space, like relaxing music. And I was like, I want. It's beautiful though. It is one of the best looking games I've ever seen, for sure.
Wow, I'll have to check that out.
It's got this really cute, like 3D diorama, little fox guy thing. Really, really gorgeous. It would be really good on Switch too, I bet. Anyway. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's get into the main segment.
For the Durai Papers.
I like that in Vanessa's notes that she did, we're going to kick off with some lore, it sounds like.
Yeah, I am going to kick us off with some lore. I'm going to do it. Remember last time we got a special book?
Yeah, the Germanique.
Mm-hmm. So Germanique is in history sort of a Judas figure. He's the one who betrayed Saint Ajora. But Germanique has his own like little scripture that he wrote, and he says that Ajora was not a holy man, first shock for me that Ajora was a man. I have been operating under the assumption that Ajora was a woman this whole time.
Me too.
But a revolutionary who was trying to undermine the Holy Edoran Empire. And Germanique was a spy for the Empire. It also said that unlike the historical myth church story, where it says Ajora and the Zodiac Braves defeated all of these people, it says that Ajora didn't have anything to do with the Zodiac Braves and did search for the shiny gems, but could not find any. So Ramza learns all that, and then he sets off to rescue his sister Alma, who has been abducted.
I thought I actually sat down and read the scriptures, which like it's in the, I forget what it is, codex or tutorial section or whatever all the text section is, and the reveal that that Ajora was just kind of a con artist the whole time was really, I thought it was great, and I love how it's not really addressed in the game, and although I think we've seen. I'm not going to name any particular small unpopular religions. When you see, when someone is outed as an obvious con artist with like a criminal past and a history of making things up, it doesn't seem to affect their religious following that much afterwards.
I feel like, I know you're trying not to name any religion, but
there's two right there.
There's two big ones. I'm having trouble trying to like understand which religion you're pointing to because there could be a few.
Well, I'm keeping it vague.
Even
I'm
in
non-specific.
some of the major religions, there have been quite a few people who have been revealed to not be what they purported to be.
Totally.
Yeah.
Be, squandering away tons of funds.
Yes, for sure. But I thought that was an interesting. I don't know. I like the way that it reveals it too is really fun. Like the event, like there's kind of a nice little narrative payoff of sort of setting up first that Saint Ajora was first it tells you the story, the legendary story of Saint Ajora, and then
the story is that like he foretold a big disaster or something, right?
Well, what was it when he got killed? There was a big disaster.
Well, that's how he became famous initially. Was he foretold that like a well was poisoned or something along those lines?
Yeah.
So, and then when he was executed, there was like a tsunami or a landfall or something, like the city fell into the sea or something like that.
And that was in Milan, which I was like, is Leomond sort of a play on that? Because it's the same world and writer, and sort of a similar thing happens to Leomond in Ivalice in Vagrant Story. Remember, that's the city, that's the sunken like exploded ruin city that you're exploring.
Oh,
yeah. But this one's called Milan.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Yeah, but like Paris, we call it Paris. The French call it Paris. The Germans call it Ein Fluffeldonks.
Ein Fluffeldonks.
Ein Fluffeldonks.
Oh, I love the bread and croissants out of Ein Fluffeldonks. You must go to the Arc de Triomphe, or as we call it, Flurgenag. No, wait, that's Swedish.
The most romantic city in the world, Ein Fluffeldonks.
Have you seen the Eiffel Tower and Fluffeldonks?
The light in Ein Fluffeldonks is incomparable. But places have different names.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can we call this episode Ein Fluffeldonks?
Maybe.
We should probably check and make sure there's not some kind of lewd German translation of that that exists.
So, what was interesting? Yeah, that Ajora had absolutely no connection to the Braves is a big plot point, because they're supposed to be like his saints.
Yeah, it's interesting because like what we've come to find out is that the Zodiac Braves of legend are actually terrifying demons. So
yeah,
so it's it's a very interesting subversion of this like history that everybody like everybody reveres all the time.
That's kind of a Dark Souls thing too, right? That they sort of, a lot of their religion is an innocent version of what's actually a corrupt, like, god-ending or world-ending thing. And
yes, yeah,
it's neat. I like the story in this a lot. And
yeah, this really added a lot of cool color to me because I've been kind of bored by the palace intrigue stuff that's happening, and this element of like mythical horror stuff is cool.
I think that's going to be a problem if you ever tried to play like Triangle Strategy, because it's so boring. The palace,
those games just don't really interest me.
It just what they need that palace intrigue, but then like this, throw in your cosmic horror, or like throw in horror, or throw in like funny, or like you gotta have or something more than just
it can't be so dry. Yeah. And and even though I appreciate what this game is doing with all the demonic stuff, I almost wish it had gone like and I realize it's not really a mainstream thing, but gone a little bit further and made like the demons like Cenobites, kind of like from Hellraiser, like gives some real cool body horror stuff.
I do love the look of the demons so far. I've only seen the two.
Too.
They're pretty rad. I feel like there's only 6 of them. There's not all 12. I could be wrong.
Oh, I don't know.
So when you start out, this is just after what happened last time? We were fighting.
We beat all those people in the monastery, and Beagroff turned into a ram man and ran away.
And took Alma.
So that we go through the city of Dorter, which is right next to the monastery, and we do get interrupted with someone trying to start a fight with Ramza, because they're like, give us the scriptures. He's like, or have you read the scriptures? And like, yeah, I have. And then he's like, they're wanting the scriptures from him, and
you can also say that you haven't read them, which I think is pretty great.
What's the dialogue? Did you choose that? What's the dialogue?
I chose that I had read them.
Me too. I thought the dialogue for like when you say that you have read them is interesting, because he's like, yeah, I read it, and give me Alma back or I'll tell everybody. And he's like, you're in no position to make demands.
He's like, I kind of am.
Yeah. I know the truth of your sham religion.
But I guess not. So you start heading out to rescue your sister. And Delita is actually in charge of protecting Princess Ovelia, meanwhile. And so you get a nice scene with her. This is sort of the first real fight of the chunker. Where I wouldn't actually call it a real fight, where they're talking about how she her the weight of her duties, and he becomes a little bit nicer to her after she is almost assassinated. There is an arrow that does fly at her, and he does knock her out of the way. He is somewhat hurt by it. And then you can, as him, crush the 2 assassins sent to kill Ovelia. And wow, Delita gets powerful. He can like one-shot these guys with his sword powers.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you run into these twins. I don't know if they're twins. They're brother and sister. I always assume they're twins, like the Wonder Twins. And they are having a big argument because they're like their father boss Marak has been turning them into assassins, and they're like, yeah, he's obviously lying. He's pulling the strings in this war. We can't keep. This is the sister, Rafa. She's like, we can't keep doing this. This is a bad idea. He's lying to us. And the brother is like, shut up. You're lying. And of course, Rafa is from Kamja. That's the name of Marak's group of assassins. What? Oh, and they're keeping Isolde hostage. And don't forget, Isolde had already kidnapped Alma, so Marak and his group already Gareth. Okay, this guy Gareth. This is so complicated.
I know.
Gareth has abducted Isolde, who you remember last time was had an Aurosite crystal and ran away with Alma, and so Gareth has kidnapped Isolde and Alma and is holding them hostage. And Marak is part of Duke Gareth's like cadre, I guess.
I don't know.
I don't know.
The important thing is we have these two Wonder Twins. They look.
What's the name of the other one? Ralph or Ralph?
Yeah, it's Ralph.
Ralph. Yeah.
They look to me to be sort of Middle Eastern-ish, like a fantasy kind
Well,
of.
they're wearing like turbans, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantasy desert-ish kind of people. There is heavy implication that the girl has been abused in particular ways by her.
Yeah. I was wondering what you would. I kind of wasn't sure if we should talk about that, but I was going to let you.
I mean, it's in there.
It sure is.
It is only in the vaguest sense, covered by implication. It's pretty blatant. And her brother is just like, nuh-uh, which is great. Good response. When
well, and she's like, you know what he
about
did.
that kind of abuse. Yeah.
She's like, you were there. Well, not there, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. He's aware of it.
Yeah, but he thinks it's like NBD. They should be grateful that they were adopted. Cool. What a great guy. I hope I get him in my party. He seems cool.
Mm-hmm. We don't yet, at least. Unnamed brother. Yeah, I don't remember what his name is. I'll look it up later.
He doesn't deserve a name.
She's got some interesting, I don't know, like you can see, so you rescue her from him. He does teleport away. And at this point, I just got the dancer and the bard. I made Jim a bard and Nadia Bim Janks is a bard and Nadia is a dancer. Have you two messed around with dancers and bards?
Mm-hmm.
I messed with dancers. I didn't mess with bards.
Mm-hmm. While I talk about dancers, can you sing in your best Tina Turner private dancer, A Dancer for Money?
Sure.
Thank you.
All the men come in this place.
Thank you. So, dancers, you have a bunch of different songs, and they're all very low, or they have 0 MP cost, and are pretty fast. And, like, there's one of them that just does random effects like poison, like, it does a super high chance of turning them into toads. It's so useful. And it also can, like, silence and paralyze. It does all these powerful effects. But it's a random chance as to what gets inflicted. Bard, Bim Janks can do stuff like recharge MP to everyone.
Luck to be you.
Nope.
It's
not private dancer. Oh, you're right. Okay, keep going. So, Jim, your bard can do
pull
buffs
your hair
like
and whale, 'cause we're playing a bard's tale.
Redo or regain MP. It has this move takes too long, but it does have a move that turns everyone's like turn cost to basically 0, and everyone can immediately go, which is. So you sort of have to time it right, but that can be super good. You have ones that have a bunch of random things like raise and re-raise and regen and all these really good buffs. So it's definitely really worthwhile having a dancer and / or a bard, depending on your strategy. I think they're great.
Sweet.
Yeah. I also got Matt's a ninja now, which is great. He's so cool.
My favorite thing about the dancer is they occasionally cast Toad on enemies, and I like to see the little Toad sprite hop around the...
This is the first time I saw them. Because she turned a bunch of, basically like half the enemies in this battle to Toads, and it was hilarious.
And they stay a Toad for a long time.
I don't think they can, unless they get Asuna, turn back. Or
really?
Maiden's Kiss. Yeah, I don't think you can turn back. I don't know. It didn't wear off, and it took me a long time to actually get to them to kill them because they were low priority after they were turned into Toads. So it seems like a really useful ability.
It is. I think it only has like a 50% chance of casting of the effect, though. And then of that effect, there's like 3 or 4 different things that can happen. So your odds of Toad are pretty low. But when it works, it's so good.
Did any of you get a screenshot of I Am Come? Because I want to use that for the episode art.
I wanted to screen cap it and I forgot.
I think I saw someone had screen capped it on the internet, so I'll go back and see if I can just steal one off of someone's blog. But yeah, that is my favorite piece of translation. We'll talk about that when we get there. So she's like, hey, I'm trying to find the Duke Gareth Barrington, I guess, or something. So she's going to
Barrington. That sounds like a name of like an accountant.
Mm-hmm.
Like someone came in and I'm like, I'm Gareth Barrington. I'm like, oh, what do you do? I'm a Duke. No, I'm not buying it.
All the comedians on Drunk History UK have names like Gareth Barrington.
One thing after watching 11 seasons of Taskmaster now, I feel like I know a lot of British comedians. And they only have like 20 people in the UK doing comedy, so they just pop up on every single show.
So, after you finish this fight, the brother teleports away. They have not reconciled their differences. But you do get one of the weirdest cutscenes in any of these games, other than maybe like Rogue Galaxy and a couple of weird ones from Final Fantasy IX. Vanessa, do you remember this cutscene after this fight?
Is this the animated one?
No.
I don't remember.
Okay, so she says, "Oh, come, we'll talk in a private place." They go to like this, looks like a sewer, like some kind of underground sewer or dungeon or something. And then a frog comes up, and the frog is like, "Yo, hey, Rafa, you suck. It's me. You're dead. I'm in a frog form. I just came to tell you that you suck, and I'm gonna get you back." And then the frog explodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, was it her brother who's like the frog?
No, it was Marak. That was the frog, because she says, "Marak, I'm gonna get you."
I was gonna mention that part earlier about the frog, but I couldn't remember if that actually happened or if I like dreamed it.
It's super weird. I guess the idea is that he is possessing the frog somehow.
And then explodes it.
Yeah. Because, well, everyone knows that if you possess something that is smaller than a human, it will explode when you leave its body.
That is true. That's common knowledge.
Yes.
It was just weird. Like, it was silly, but it wasn't presented as silly. Like, there's no like comedy, like weird Final Fantasy comedy music.
There isn't any of that in this game, and it needs it. I wish we had a comedic relief character.
I feel like the exploding frog is the closest we're gonna get.
Hmm.
And then we can go to Tactics Advance, which has a whole race of Jar Jar Binkses.
Oh no.
And Double Cast. Vanessa's favorite ability.
Double Cast, which I claimed was in this game, which is not in this game, and then the listeners were confused because for some reason people think I know anything about video games. I don't.
Mm-hmm. So, meanwhile, I see. Oh, the reason that I thought this was screwed up because I was like, oh, did I turn Marek into a toad? Is that why he was a toad in this cutscene? Like, did I screw up the game? But no, he's always a toad in this cutscene. So he does also mention to Ramza, hey, if you try and fight the Grand Duke, you know, what's his name? Gareth Barrington. We're gonna kill your sister. And Ramza's like, oh, exploding frog. So we head to Riovaynes Castle, but on the way, we do pass by a bog, and the bog is full of ghosts. Okay, don't worry, Vanessa. Ghosts, you know, are ghosts. You are 100% aware.
Now, see, you say that. I wasn't sure. I actually was convinced that these people were pretending to be ghosts in order to frighten or confuse me. Because they do kind of glow blue and then they float, but lots of people float in this world. You can get floaty shoes, you can get just a float ability. So I did not believe that they were ghosts, and I was killing them slowly in order to grind for experience points. And after a while, they did come back to life instead of turning into a crystal because they are, in fact, among the dead. So I didn't know it was a ghosted myself. Like, they came to me, they said, I'm a ghost. I was like, that's not a ghost. I don't know it's a ghost. I don't think it's a ghost. And then it turned out they were a ghost. I played myself. You know, sometimes you play the game and sometimes the game plays you.
It's true. But I guess they weren't ghosts. Well, they were ghosts. They're blue. They looked like Star Wars Force ghosts, and they're floating. I didn't try casting... I think Seal Evil... Because I brought Mustadio because he has a one-shot kill ability on Undead with his gun. And I got him a shiny new gun. The only problem with the gun that I got him is it does turn him to stone at the beginning of the battle. And you do have to unstone him before he can fight, because you don't want him to be too stoned during a major conflict, you know? You gotta have your wits about you. I'm waiting for Vanessa to laugh.
Sorry, haha. I got distracted by Matt's coworker messaging us to see if we were done recording.
Oh. Okay.
Why would Matt's coworker message us to see if we were done recording? That's something the listener is going to have to try to figure out for themselves.
I think they can figure it out.
Since we often talk about how we
talk about
Matt
and Matt's coworker.
Matt's coworker.
It looks like Matt is also playing.
Oh, is he not here?
Oh.
Oh yeah. I guess I didn't introduce him because he's not here.
I thought he was just being uncharacteristic.
I can hear him vape.
Yeah.
Didn't Matt say he was too busy to record?
He sure did.
And he's dancing in PUBG?
And he also said he didn't catch up.
I believe it.
Yeah.
that part I believe.
Matt's
too busy that I'm calling into question.
Isn't this Matt's selection too for the vote?
It is.
Oh boy.
Matt made the classic mistake of not anticipating a AAA video game release. You know, you got to plan for these things. Take some time off work. Mm-hmm. Make sure your other gaming business is taken care of. You know? Mm-hmm. Or, if you don't do that, find other ways to achieve your goals, like going on eBay.
Mm-hmm. So, we head to Riovaynes. Yeah, so we fight these ghosty ghosts. They're apparently the remnants of the magic users of the 50 Years' War that died in these swamps. And the swamps are so, like, pumped full of magic that they're just gushing with ghosts.
Gushing with ghosts.
Yeah. I like this fight. I thought this was fun. They're a little tricky. I actually got killed once when I just sort of had a bad party makeup because I didn't think it would be a big deal, but they're a little tricky.
I have often found that some of the random battles that you get into are more difficult than the boss battles. Not necessarily the random ones, but there are like there's true random and then there's scripted random. So I think the first time you go to any new place, the enemies you fight are going to be the same. So I got really hung up on a place full of chocobo. And usually if you like, start over, then there'll be different enemies there, but this was just straight chocobo every time.
The monsters scale to Ram's level. So if you have Rams at like level 90, it's going to be pretty hard. And chocobos get pretty dangerous as they get higher in level. My party screen, I got so many chocobos in my party. I got to find that. I know there's points later you can find a pig in your party. You know, those little cute little moogly pigs. You can get them in your party. I've been trying the poaching ability too to get some good weapons.
If I'm a pig.
Oh, we also run into that guy. There's another fight. We ran into that guy, Ludo?
Lilo.
Lilo? You know, he's a guy. And he's, like, joining us for some reason. Oh, is he the one who... Yeah, because he's, I know why. Because he is the thunder god, Sid's son, right?
That's right. And he's like, look, my dad, he's in all kinds of trouble. Please, me be your party. We've run into him before, I think.
Yeah. But now he's got a hat on. Before he just had his little...
Yeah, it's hard to recognize people when they get
Yeah. I don't know. It gets very complicated. He's strong. He doesn't have anything particularly noteworthy in abilities, but he's pretty strong.
I never use these special characters.
Well, you can send them out on errands and get like big money and rewards. Yeah.
Because I found that most.
Oh, you're right. No, you
are
can't.
not available to go on errands.
I always send those. I send those 3 that you got at the beginning of chapter 2 out on all the errands.
Yeah, that's what I do too.
Alicia and the other one, Ludmilla. They always go on adventures.
Mine have different names because it's randomized.
No, it's always Lad and Alicia. I don't remember the name of the third one. It is always Lad and Alicia.
Jim. Did you have Lad and Alicia in your party?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I think I have like an Antoinette. I don't really have any like story characters in my party. It's all just kind of randos.
So, meanwhile, back at Riovaynes Castle. Now, here is, of course, someone we've talked about many times, Full Marv Tengil.
Of course.
Which is, of course, backwards, Vramloff Elegant.
Of course.
He's leader of the Knights Templar, who I guess it's starting to seem like they're the big actors of this plot. They're like the ones that are like the big bad guys. Maybe?
I'm not clear.
Oh, no, I guess not, because that's Isilud's father. And he's the one before who told Ovelia that she wasn't a princess, but is a princess, but was a Switcheroo Princess.
I still don't understand the context in which that happened. Here's my best guess. The king adopted some kind of little noble girl as the princess. Then they took that baby and replaced her with a common-born baby.
Well, I think like that baby died and they thought, he was out 50 years warring, so he didn't notice. And they're like, baby's a baby. So they just replaced her with a common born baby.
Right. But why does it matter?
I think because he needed an heir.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess they're saying that because she's common born, they think that she'll have more compassion for non-nobility?
I don't know. I don't think
Yeah,
I think they
I'm
just
confused.
no one would miss a common baby. That's why they took a common baby.
Why switch the baby at all?
But like,
because the other one died.
Once he adopts her, she's not common anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
what's up? Your baby died.
I think it's that they were covering up the fact that this baby died because the baby was an heir and it would have like destabilized the Grand Duke's position. No, the King's position. Hold on, I gotta go change laundry. So why don't you try and figure out what happens in this cutscene?
Put on laundry again.
Well, I'm gonna put the laundry into the dryer.
Put on dryer? Put on... Is laundry's still laundry, even if it goes into the dryer.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Right. So... Yep. So we're at the castle. Ilse's father and the man who told the princess she wasn't the princess are there with the Grand Duke, and Wygraf the dog man's there, and Barrington is there, and he's like, "Hey, Wygraf the brother of the sister, Goatman is there." Barrington is like, "Hey, I know all of this stuff about the princess, I guess, so I'm going to create an alliance with the Templars because they're the strongest power, and you, Fulmarv, have to do what I say." And Fulmarv is like, "No. Wygraf, you go kill Ramza, and meanwhile, I'm going to stay here." So Wygraf goes away, and then Fulmarv is like, "Everybody look at me, check this out." And he does transform into a Lucavi and kill everyone in the room. Yeah, off screen he transforms. He does kill everyone, and he looks at his son, and he's like, "You suck, you're weak, I'm gonna kill you." He mortally wounds him. Alma, meanwhile, escapes from her cell, and she runs into the sun just before his death. And he's like, "Yeah." Meanwhile, she escapes, and what are you talking about? You told me to describe this cutscene, right?
It's not in that cutscene.
Okay, I guess I'm done. I can describe this fight. So you saunter in with your party into this room where all of these people have been killed, and Wygraf is in there and is like, "What's up, Ramza? I challenge you to a duel, mano y mano." And you're like, "No way, I'm not going to fight you one-on-one." Turns out you have to, because I guess the rest of your party is in the hall outside. It's really weird because it has you form your normal 5-person party, but then it's just Ramza. So you have to fight this guy as just Ramza. It's pretty tough. You do that, and then he's like, "I have a surprise for you." And he, I think, turns the dead bodies into, like, gargoyles. And then he also transforms himself. And then you fight him again. And then we cut to Alma and the son, who is bleeding out. And she's like, don't move. It's going to be okay." And he's like, and dies.
Wait, is this like the end of the chunker?
I don't know.
Yes. But
Did we skip the ghost fight?
No, we talked about the ghosts.
Oh, we did. Maybe that's when I was changing my shirt.
you can tell what thoughts do you have on the ghost fight, Jim?
Oh, I thought it was fun. It was fun to fight enemies that were not other humans.
A ghost is a human. It's just dead.
Well, it's not
You
a human
consider
anymore.
ghosts to be... Oh. It's an interesting perspective.
It's not a biological entity anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's paranorman.
Mm-hmm. So this fight that Vanessa was describing there with Vygraf, it's got the two parts, right? First, you're fighting human Vygraf, and he can kill Ramza in my Ramza in 2 hits with his like super powerful sword.
Yeah, and he has a distance attack.
Yeah. And so I was like running from him and boosting my speed and boosting my speed and boosting my speed. And I also switched classes from the samurai, which honestly isn't that great. I mean, just between you and me, samurai could be a better class. Between the samurai and I've switched him back to a monk because the monk has a lot of self-healing stuff. I also put his counter because I had him on first strike, but it wasn't working because I guess like maybe VGraph has better stats or something. So I was like, I'll put auto potion, which worked almost every time. And that one's way more useful because it does almost all the damage. It heals almost all the damage because I got X potions. So it does 150. So I was running around, and now I was doing like 2 or 3 turns for everyone of VGraph's turns. So I started like focusing and make it more powerful. So then, then I did punch him once for 300 hit points of damage. It's like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That is, you know what, VGraph? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Is that it, Vanessa?
Sometimes you play the
game. Sometimes the game plays you.
And he's like, oh, yeah, well, I'm going to turn into a hot goat friend. And you're like, what? And then he turns into like, or a ram friend. He turns into a big ram, you know, like he did the other time with all the arms. Mm-hmm. And that,
Mr. Hugs a lot.
Yeah. Hugsy hugs a lot. The Belial the Giygas, he's very deadly. He does have like some area of effect spells that are very dangerous. So I had Agrius because she's got the holy sword. I was like, well, holy versus these demons should be good, right? It was okay, and she in the end killed Belial, but it was getting down to the wire. Like Vanessa kept getting knocked out, and she was using that golem thing that blocks damage, which is super useful, but they were doing so much damage that it didn't last that long. And yeah, it's like sometimes you play the game and sometimes the game plays you. Like it was a tricky fight, but I beat it and defeated Belial, which is the first time I've done that, and I bought this game literally 24 years ago.
Congratulations.
So
it's almost a quarter century.
Yeah, a quarter century ago, this game stymied me. And here I am now, older, wiser, driving a convertible.
This is John's redemption arc.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, hey, you. Get your goddamn hands off her. And then this timeline, I punched him and he like turns around and slides back against my really nice coupe car that I have that Marty or George McFly has for some reason.
Wait, that's not George's car. I thought it was Lorraine's car.
Oh, was it Lorraine? Oh, maybe she has rich parents. She did have a nice
driving.
house. Yeah.
Oh, wait, maybe Marty's driving. Oh, that's Doc's car. That's Doc Brown's car.
Earth Angel. Oh yeah, because she was trying to make out with Marty in it.
Yeah, because he pulls over and she pulls out that like bottle of whiskey and he's like, "What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
She succeeds in kissing him, and then says it's like kissing her little brother.
Speaking of that, there's a Back to the Future themed bar in Fort Worth that I'm going to go to tomorrow.
I'm just a fool.
Yeah.
What was the thing?
They have autographed hoverboards that are signed by the cast, and there's a lot of cool stuff there. They have a DeLorean there.
Well, there's something in Dallas that people wanted you to go to, right? Or was it in Austin? Someone was messaging you on the group. It was
the like wrestler quesadilla bar.
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, I wish I would have remembered because I was going to actually because it's delivery only. I think it's only on DoorDash. So because it's like a ghost kitchen thing. I think it's out of like IHOP. But it's WWE like Slamadias or something like that. And I guess it's only in DFW and only for a very limited time.
Well, get it this weekend.
I was gonna actually order it live on the show, but I'll have to. Maybe I'll do it this weekend. And
well, we could do it while we record the bonus. It'll be a bonus Elden Ring and WWE quesadilla review. So, how'd you do in this fight, Jim?
I did very well. I was surprised at how much health Belial had. He had a lot of health. I like the mechanic in this game to where if you kill the leader, then the battle stops.
If the point of the battle is to kill the leader.
If it's not defeat all enemies, But I do like that even in these boss battles, even when he's being like supported by other demons, if you take him out, then the battle's over. But this guy had more than 1,000 health, which is like 3 times more than any other enemy I think we've met up to this point.
Oh wow. And yeah, he like blew up Ramza almost instantly after turning into like I got a few shots in, but I guess I wasn't cautious enough, and auto potion wasn't doing its thing, and I let Ramza die. That's why Agrius was the one who killed him for me. But sometimes you play the game, sometimes the game plays you. Do you think we've got it in enough times for Vanessa's friend yet?
She actually only asked me to say sometimes the game plays you. I added the first line myself.
I feel like she's probably not going to listen past the level up, which I think is
that's usually what she listens to.
So she's probably missed a lot of the other drops that we did.
Mm-hmm.
She was a big fan of the gaming news only episode. She's like, "This is great. I listened to the whole thing." Thank you for your support.
All right, so we defeat Belias and cut back to Alma in the room, and that's where Ilissa does drop that Jolly Rancher. Well, she's like, I can heal you, and yeah, she's got like re-raise and stuff. Why isn't she casting this on people?
Maybe it only works on Ramza, like Matt was saying.
I don't know. So she won't cast that on him. She was about to heal him, and he's like, no, don't use your incredibly powerful magic to stop me from dying. Take the aura sight that I have. And she's like,
I'm Alma, so I'm going to take that aura sight. Do you like my Alma voice? Do you think it's good?
I love it.
I do like a little bit of the lore that they dropped here where they say that the stones are not inherently evil, but it depends on the person that's like wielding them.
Oh, it's like when Jafar had the power and he was bad.
When he was a bad genie, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Or like when the evil guy put on the mask and Jim Carrey's The Mask.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Does that happen in The Mask?
Yeah, the mobster guy puts on the mask and becomes scary mobster guy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And he's like wearing that weird like muscle suit. He's like weirdly muscular after he puts it on.
I remember them like dancing around, and that's basically all I remember.
That movie actually holds up. It's not a bad
I could
movie.
see that one. Like, 'cause it's got Cameron Diaz, and she is effervescent and sparkling.
Yeah, that was her first like film role, I think.
It was her first big one, and Jim Carrey's pretty good in it too. He's really bringing it. Good for him.
His name is
he's
Cuban
made
Pete.
some bad movies, but like
He's
when
the king of the
when he gives 100%, he gives like that's
plays
what made
those
the
maracas.
first Sonic movie so good. Is Jim Carrey's really bringing it in that movie, and he's so good.
What is your favorite Jim Carrey movie?
Ooh, I know the answer for this.
Go ahead, John.
Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind. One of like 4 movies in the world that can make me cry.
Oh, that's a great movie. I was really into The Truman Show when I was a kid. I thought
That's
that
a good
was
one.
such a
It's a
great
really
movie.
well-made,
it's
beautifully
so
shot.
good.
Is
Yeah.
it Peter Berg that made that? I feel like it was a good director.
Is Peter Berg a good director? He went like full on like Middle Eastern people are bad, war is good after 9/11.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
I mean, not in like, but he made that movie, The Kingdom, and I don't know. He's made some iffy stuff. Who did direct The Truman Show?
The Truman Show was directed by Peter Weir.
Peter Weir.
Oh.
Also
think
known
that was-
for Master and Commander, a very gay movie. I
I've
didn't know
heard,
Master
people-
and Commander was gay until I started watching it, and I was like, wow, this is a heckin' gay movie.
That's had a, I would assume that movie was way boring, but like people talk about it on Twitter like it's amazing, so it really makes me want to watch it.
It wasn't the kind of thing I thought I'd like, but I did kind of get into it when I was watching it.
He did The Last Wave, that really weird Australian disaster movie that was really good. And Fearless, which is a great movie.
Mm-hmm. And
one
Dead
is-
Poets Society, probably his biggest hit.
Yeah. Oh, Captain, My Captain.
And my favorite film, Witness, where Harrison Ford goes undercover in the Amish community.
Oh,
That
I
was-
like that movie.
That was who I was thinking of. I just got his last name wrong, Jim.
Oh, he did Picnic at Hanging Rock, which is a really interesting movie.
Is that one super bloody?
Yeah.
Okay. And the cars that ate Paris. So.
Truman Show is also my favorite Jim Carrey movie. Thanks for asking.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
Vanessa,
yeah.
what's your favorite Jim Carrey movie?
I already told you.
Vanessa likes the number 13. That's her.
Ooh.
That movie sucks.
I think it's the number 23.
Oh, is it 23? Oh, it is the
Yeah.
number 23.
I saw that movie on a plane. It was very bad.
It's so bad.
A plane is about the right place for that movie to be shown. I also do kind of like Liar Liar, even though it's very much of its era guy, oh, he works too hard to be a good dad kind of
Yeah.
stuff. That's fun.
Did any of you see Eternal Sunshine of a Spotless Mind?
I've seen Eternal Sunshine.
Okay.
That's a
I've
Charlie
seen it.
Kaufman film, right? He wrote that.
Yeah. Yeah. I
No, I
love that.
about it.
Oh, okay.
I just don't, it didn't impact me, and I know that makes me a bad hipster. and I don't want
No.
to get
No,
letters
it-
to be like beep boop beep boop. Here
I
I am
just-
dialing up the internet. send you
I
an email that you're a
just
bad
went through a
hipster.
breakup when I saw it and regretted his actions. And it's a movie about regret and breakups and things. And I thought it was very good. I really like Charlie Kaufman as a writer. And I love Michel Gondry as a director. He's one of my favorite directors of videos and commercials and movies. And
He's
things.
made a lot of interesting music videos, right? Or am I thinking of somebody
Yeah.
else?
No,
Yeah.
I've got the DVD collection of all his videos up until 2004 or whatever.
Yeah,
And, like,
he's made a
with-
lot of cool stuff.
I remember watching the video for do you know the French band I Am? They're like a French rap band from the 90s. And the video for Je danse le mia was on all the time in the mid 90s on Musique Plus, which, because I grew up in Quebec. And it's just, I hadn't seen anything like it ever. It was stunning. And just seeing how they did it and how all the cuts work and stuff, it's really cool. And I like that he relies so much on physical effects. Like he does that weird White Stripes video where everything like turns big and small.
Oh,
and
I like
everything's,
that one.
Fucked up with perspective and all that. Isn't Conan O'Brien in that video at one point?
I don't
Conan
remember.
O'Brien,
Yeah.
the
It's a
world's
weird-
most famous podcaster.
Anyway, so so yeah, Alma has been so you come back to Alma in this room, and this is like a little 8-bit looking or like 16-bit looking spritey game. Like it's got really cute, very detailed sprites. I was not
Super
expecting
cute.
the level of blood in this following scene.
Oh yeah.
So you cut back to the scene where, of course, Duke Gareth Barrington and his cronies were. These are the Knights. Are these the Knights Templar? No. The Knight. Yeah, it is, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. They're all dead. They're all just all the bodies just strewn about, like Vanessa said before. What's his face killed them. Marak did murder them all, including his own kid. And Alma walks in, and you keep hearing outside, "Arr, arr." Oh, I guess that was before. That was like when they realized they were under attack, and that was VGraph doing it. And you hear like the little screams of everyone dying outside, but it's those little 16-bit screams. Oh, that was so fun. Oh, what a good scene. Anyway, yeah, so you come in, she walks in, and the room is covered in bodies and little 16-bit blood piles, and it's so cute. And it's like disturbing, but it's adorable at the same time. It's like, what? It looked like, remember in Metal Gear Solid where Snake walks in after Grey Wolf has been by? Or like when Sephiroth has ransacked the lab in Midgar? It's a bit like that. Like just everybody dead. And Isoled's about to give Alma the crystal when Marek shows up and is like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." And then his crystal starts vibrating. He's like, "Oh shit, my crystal vibrating. What? Can you believe this? He turns to her. He's like, what? And she's like, what? The crystal is vibrating. You're the one we've been looking for. And he says, all these centuries, or like for the past century. So I think he's got something up his sleeve. And he's not telling people.
Yeah, he's telling her. He's like,
yeah, that's true.
It's you. Well, he actually is kind of in denial. He's like, it can't be you, stupid girl. And then she's like,
there was a very well written moment before he realizes she's like super special girl, where he's like, yeah, don't worry, I'm just gonna kill you fast, and not like these other ones. I'm not gonna let you suffer. It's just gonna be, a slit to the throat. You're just gonna bleed out. And it was a really gross scene, like where he's like
gross.
backing her up, but it was very well done. This guy, very evil, and I think they do a good job of making him very evil to the point where they didn't need like some of the other details they throw in about him being evil. Because this scene sort of, you get the idea that he's a bad, and it's a bad dude in a way that you don't normally see in a Final Fantasy game. Like a very like, oh, this dude bad.
Real evil guy.
Yeah. Legit evil. And
instead of just
like
being
not mustache twirly evil.
Well, a lot of the villains are like, I've suffered a lot, so I think I'll just destroy the world, and that will be good.
I don't know what this guy's motivation is yet, because he seems like
he's like
a
very
new
sadistic
character, really. Anyway, so he does warp off with Alma, and you do see that there's just Isoled's Magicite just drops there on the floor.
Let the Magicite hit the floor.
Well, the bodies already did. Is that verse 2? Is that verse 2? Because after the bodies hit the floor?
After the bodies hit the floor, let the Magicite hit the floor.
The bodies have hit the floor.
Thank you for putting the bodies on the floor. Have some Magicite.
Yeah. I actually kind of like the later verses where they're like cleaning up. They're like, let the body bags hit the floor. Roll the bodies in the bag. Let the mops hit the floor. There's no blood there anymore.
Good thing there's a drain built into the floor to account for all the blood. Do you think the bus in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, do you think that bus will be sold like a post-crime auction? Was it still in operational condition?
I would assume that there's probably a few different versions of it. There's one that was probably driving, and then one that they used for the actual filming.
Mean in the logic of the film.
Like they're going to clean it out and auction it off?
Yeah, do you think?
I don't know. It's probably haunted. It's haunted for sure.
Do you think anyone went to that town to find Chainsaw Man? Like afterwards?
One lady did.
We'll have to find out in the sequel.
Well, yeah, because theoretically that self-driving car drove that girl all the way away. Mm-hmm. So she could be like, hey, guess what happened?
Movie. That dumb movie so much. Anyway.
Yeah, but by the way, if you want to hear us talk about that that movie in a lot more detail, check out our Patreon, where last month's bonus episode was us talking about our feelings about the most recent Texas Chainsaw Massacre film.
Oh, but let's flash.
Last month? I feel like this month has been the longest month.
Flash is trying to play by himself. He's trying to. But he does keep knocking the toy off the bed.
He's playing with his toy mallard. He has a mallard that squeaks, and so he's like jumping up and down with his mallard.
He's a cute boy. For an idiot.
John's continuing ever to cyberbully my dog is so good.
All right, so Vanessa, what are you roundly for or squarely against for this chunker? Marky made a stinky poo. Oh boy, I gotta add some glitter, I think.
Oh. So, yeah, what am I squarely against? I'm squarely against this Y-Graph fight. John talked about being stymied. I was stymied here too the first time I played this game. We've mentioned many times how you need many saves in order to keep yourself from being soft-locked in this game. I did get soft-locked. I hate this fight. It's way too hard. Part of the sort of whole RPG mechanic has always been to let your enemies kind of scale with you. So it's never too easy, never too difficult. And I felt like this one just got too difficult.
Yeah, there is a big difficulty curve here. Like I said, like this guy has a ton of health.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Jim, what are you squarely against?
I don't like the fights, like the side fights, like in this chunker where you had to play as like Delita and fight the assassins. I didn't like that.
Yeah, I don't care about Delita or what he does, so I
Yeah.
don't like that either.
It just kind of takes me out of the narrative a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And Johnny, what are you squarely against?
I thought this chunker was great. I thought the fights were fun. You do keep rescuing random people who happen to be going on the same path as you, and they do seem to never talk again once they're fully in your party. Apparently there's some like side stories you can unlock, like where you learn more about Agrius and some of the other ones. I don't know if you've seen that.
I haven't really, although it's kind of interesting, isn't it, how this game does have some replayability that RPGs don't usually, because you just kind of have to be in the right place at the right time sometimes.
I started playing Tactics Ogre, the one that came out on PSP. I have that one. It doesn't have, the only thing is it doesn't have the 3D backgrounds, and I find like I love spinning around the levels. It's only 2D. The whole game's 2D. And it's still pretty, and it plays just like this. I will not just. There's some differences, but yeah, I've been really in the mood. I can see. It's just strange that they've let this series like lie fallow after the weird DS or the later Tactics Advanced games that were so different, and then I think like a mobile game that just had tiny little arenas. It's like, come on, everyone loves this. Why? Maybe it's because it didn't sell that well that they're like, oh yeah, it's not. No one really likes this game. Anyway, but you know, Square did release Triangle Strategy, which is sort of a unofficial sequel, like with very similar ideas and beautiful 3D background. So maybe it exists. I just have to get past the incredible and that Jim, that game's voice acting so bad.
Really?
It's
is it
like
worse than Grandia?
It's Grandia level. It's very bad. But you can turn it off. So I just played it with the voices off.
You know, I was scrolling through, I think, like Twitter or something the other day, and somebody had made like a meme. Maybe it wasn't a meme, but it was like a screenshot of Grandia, and it was talking about like best RPGs or something. And a lot of people were like, "Man, I love Grandia so much. The voice acting was just it was so good for like a PS1 game." And I want to be like, that voice acting like makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. It makes me embarrassed. That's so bad. And there's so much of it.
Let's move on to what's a Patreon? Vanessa, what a Patreon?
What a Patreon is, we make podcast. You get podcast free. We cry because podcasts cost money make. But you want us not cry, you go Patreon, you help us make podcast by give the money. We take the money, we make podcast good and better. If you want to be involved in this, you can do it and have rewards. Reward number 1. We will read your name at the end of the show. At the end of every show? No, there are too many of you, which is a blessing. But we had to split it up. If you keep listening, eventually your name will get its turn. Reward number 2. At the, what do we want to say, the $3 level? You can get access to all of our bonus content. There's lots of episodes in there. They're not all about Texas Chainsaw Massacre, but one of them is. Which one may surprise you. And reward number 3, at the $5 a month level, you can vote on the next game. Jim, do you have any madness you wish to discuss?
Yes, we are. For our next vote, we decided to take some inspiration from March Madness, and we're gonna do March Badness, meaning that we're gonna do a tournament of past poll losers. So we've gone through and we've combed through all of our past Patreon polls, picked out all of the losers, and we're pitting them against each other in a heated competition. So that is going to start this week, the week of this episode's release. And we'll probably, I don't know if we've decided fully how we're going to do it, but I imagine we'll probably do a couple matchups per week until a winner has been decided.
We don't have that much time left. We got to do like a couple of days, or like every 2 days or something.
Maybe we'll do like 3 per week, because there's 24 games, which means there's like 12. I don't know. How many matches would that be?
There's quite a few because there's different rounds, right? Like, so it's
not a single it's a single elimination tournament, but
I still think that it's gonna take a long time if we don't get through them pretty fast.
Take a long time. We're gonna be doing it all the time.
Yeah, we'll probably do it in rounds. So we'll do like maybe like 2 rounds per week. So the first round is going to have like quite a few matchups, and then it'll kind of dwindle from there.
Okay, yeah,
so,
that works. 2 rounds per week, I think, will work.
Yeah.
All right,
that is incoming.
There's going to be a gajillion polls for you.
Yeah, we didn't mention where we're going to play to next time because I didn't decide. We keep setting where we're going to play to, and then changing it. And so I say we will play to the middle of Chapter 4. Where is that? I don't know. Nobody knows. We'll figure it out.
That sounds good. I'll maybe put in the text description a bit more accurate of one. But yeah, that sounds good to me. All right. So I guess we don't have any emails, right? I did pass over. You said there's one email?
Is there?
No, I don't think so.
There is.
Oh, okay. So, yeah. Oh, speaking of Passover, I did say this should be, this was vetoed by the rest of the Squares crew, so don't blame them. But I did suggest we call it the Passover vote, because these are games we passed over previously in honor of Passover, which is coming up. But, I guess it was a little too religiously charged for cancel culture. So,
I know that
they canceled me.
But I'm not sure what kind of bit it is because I do not remember you mentioning that.
I did mention it once, but you didn't veto it. I'm just being silly.
Okay.
I'm just being a joke. Is a jokester. I'm a jokester. Little jokester Johnny.
That's what they call you.
Little jokey John.
JJ.
All right. Anyway, so Vanessa, why don't you tell our Patreon, a select group of 25 Patreons, how much you love them?
Okay. Ari Korpavara, I love you. Final Fantasy of Tactical Strap-Ons, I love you. Those that start wars rarely fight in them, I love you. Swan swam over the sea, swim, swan, swim. Swan swam back again, well swum, swan, I love you. Dovahkiin's Discount Dragon Barn, love you. Sierra the Wolf, love you. William Westgard, love you. Cameron Show, I love you. Andy Best, I love you. Teen Wolfhard Bumpkins, I love you. I love you. Samu Mitchell, I love you. I love you. Joshua W. Roxon, I love you. Ryan Miller, I love you. Mikey Mucho, I love you. Hexagon, I love you. Ramza, what hat did you get? I love you. Chris Penyak, I love you. Ron, I love you. DP 2099, I love you. Isaac Wright, I love you. Is a Diva Cup a thing I love? Yes, it is. Help, I'm trapped in its avatar thumbnail. I love you. And Vanessa Fan. You know what? Vanessa Fan, I'm just going to say I agree with you. I love myself.
Aww.
And I would like to thank Aid Marriott, friend of DeSoto, Aaron O'Toole, Rubber Bear, Eduardo Franco, Aaron Zelda 2 is underrated little, Matthew Casterline, no pithy profile name this week, I'm on break, Citrus C, Lex Averial, Keysby Knight, Andy M, Evan K, Eric Poirier, Alexander Jokic, Armin Hammer, Stephen Paget, Johnny 5 Alive, Eric Garb, Rolled Earth, blame my kids for the booty butt cheeks name, Adam H, Joseph, Do Good Recklessly, Tracy, and Zachary Train.
Wow, and you don't love any of those people, huh?
I'd like to love Grey Code, I love you one. Dylan Rowe, I love you 2. DJ Ethro, I love you 3. Dustin, I love you 4. Saving Sid, I love you 5. Nofford, I love you 6. Seth G, I love you 7. An evil floppy-haired Vanessa boyfriend, I love you 8. Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, I love you 9. Michael Crawford, I love you 10. Square Roots, I love you 11. Grayson, I love you 12. Some of my best friends are Swedish chefs, I love you 13. Ward Childress, I love you 14. Wishbone is gay, I love you 15. WWE Mike G, I love you 16. Tyler Crump, I love you 17. Vanessa's Gold, Taco Bell, PS5, I love you 3000. Lally Lule Low. Lally Lule Low. I love you 18. Tree Diddy, I love you 19. Chapter 1, V-Graph was right. Chapter 3, not so much. I love you 20. My battery is low, I love you 21. And Free Girth, I love you 22. I might have loved people the same amounts at some points. I apologize.
All right, everyone. Well, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. If you'd like to have an email read on the air, our email address is squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group, for smart, cool, very attractive people. Or find Vanessa on Twitter. That is @SquareRootsPod.
Sometimes it's Matt.
Not very often.
Not very often.
Mostly Vanessa.
If you see that account tweeting about Taskmaster, that's going to be me.
Vanessa has taken a lot of stances on behalf of the show that I don't...
Oh, and don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes, Ghana, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Stephen Morris for our Square Roots theme. You can find Stephen on Twitter as Beige on Beige and on YouTube. Links in the show notes. Vanessa, did you know you can rate shows in Spotify now?
That's what I've heard. I did go in there and try to do it, and I couldn't figure out how to do it, Johnny.
I figured it out, but it's kind of weird. Yeah, it is doable, for sure. You can go, let me click on the app. So you click on the little appy thing, the green circle with the little Wi-Fi lines on it.
Yeah.
You go to your library, and
there
there's
it
podcasts and shows.
Oh, there
you
it
click
is.
on Square Roots, right?
Mhm.
Which you should have a subscription to.
Of course I do.
And there, I said 5 stars. You see, like, there's the description of it. It's like, if you scroll all the way up, there's, like, stars for me. And then there says video games, comedy, and then how much you rated that podcast.
I don't see the stars. Maybe I need to update my application.
Maybe. Well, that's where I get it. And yeah, I can rate right there. Where can people find like all the old episodes of stuff with music and stuff we didn't have the rights to, and we're using a fair use kind of deal, but we definitely can't try that with Spotify because they will not host it.
Yes, they can find our old archive at squareroots.libsyn.com.
Wow, I was asking Vanessa, but thanks, Jim.
Sorry.
Yeah, I thought he was too. I actually don't mind that Jim answered that. I am happy that he did, and I didn't have to. Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome.
Mm-hmm.
Well, all right. We did it. That's it for this episode
Jim's
of
falling
Square
asleep.
Roots. Yeah, for Square Roots, I'm Jim Banks.
I am Johnny Brandon.
And I'm Vanessa, and I'd like to say, sometimes you play the game, sometimes the game plays you.
All right. Bye.
Bye. Ooh, we're getting to barbershop quartet or trick cat.
Yeah.
Triplet.
Only Matt was here. We could have nailed it. He could have been the like bass guy. Boy,
We
boy.
could have gone by.
Boy.
And I'll hit stop.
Bye.